Assalamu alaikum. You all may be seated. For those of you that did show up, thank you for coming. Visitors, do we have any? Very good. Today, I want to speak about the real relationship, a divine relationship, as opposed to a natural relationship. First, I want to say this. All of you all that are here, whatever you have on your mind, let it go. And after I've finished and open up the floor for questions, then if you haven't got clarity, bring it back up. All right? In other words, don't be thinking while I'm talking you miss half of what's being said. As far as the introductory, as the ministers or the brother just introduced me as, that part, you don't have to hold on to that. Because whether I'm here or not, the things that makes a man God will be here. It was here before he came, and if he must leave, it'll be here after he leaves. And that's mathematical thinking. Math is always here, and it's not prejudice. Anyone that wants to use it is there to be used. So those of you, I understand we got a couple of people from the press here. I don't know if you're actually here in the building. If you are, this is not a lecture on how much we hate anything, or that we are against America, or we don't like white folks. That's not what this is about. This is actually about helping the black man to come back to be who he is. There must be a situation set up, an opportunity for him to be what he's here to be. So since no one else is going to do it for him, so he has to do it for himself in the form of being a black person. And the only way you will be yourself is that you understand what prophecy is, understand who you are, understand the time, and go in motion. Just to sit around and talk about a lot of knowledge and do nothing, that's exactly what will happen. Nothing. And from the shape of our people that we see in the streets or wherever we see them, their very appearance cries out for help. And it's gotten to be so bad or so intense that the person that would want to help you is afraid to because of your appearance. And if you take notice as to what's taking place on the world scene, there is nothing that carries any peace with it. Nothing. Now you can't even go to a ball game or football game or basketball game. You can't even go to a rap award. So what is happening? What's happening? Something's got to take place where you can feel, where you can go and gain something that's beneficial to you without being in danger. And the only person and the only place that you can find that is the United Nation of Islam. I don't know how many of you all check this out. We have a website. If you haven't, before you go home or when you get home or wherever you go next day to your job, click on the website, UNOI, and see exactly what we're doing. And then you'll see this is the place where you at least have a choice. You have a choice. It's not like you have to go with the everyday thing or what's presented to you and you just have to accept it or just go crazy. There is a place for us to participate in, and it is the United Nations of Islam. The idea was brought about, or let me say brought into reality by me. Before I'm in this physical body, the idea has been here for some time. Master Prophet Muhammad brought it. Elijah told us that he was coming, what the idea was about. And now here it is. We have to actually live it now. Understand? All right, let's get to the subject. We have, in the course of making this possible for the black man to be free, the greatest person or thing that we have to battle outside of ignorance is the other part of you, your woman. Usually, from my experience, whenever something is introduced to the female that carries law with it, you're going to have a fight. You listening to what I'm saying? So those of you that are already in the United Nations of Islam, or you're partly in it, you're showing some type of interest in it, favoritism towards it. If you have a sister, a mother, a grandmother, aunt, niece, they're going to try to discourage you. That you're in the wrong place, you're doing the wrong thing, and this isn't an occult, and all sorts of dumb things that can't be proven if you really looked into it. In order for the man to overcome such odds, you're going to have to know the divine relationship to things. It's natural to have a relationship with what already exists, and you don't come against it unless you want to fight it. And most times you don't want to fight it unless you know you can win. That's natural. But it don't mean it's divine. A divine relationship is when you can relate it to that which has already existed from the creation or creator. And you conduct yourself in such a manner that you don't offend it. And today, black man, like was the messenger came and brought the message to you. He didn't bring it to your woman, he brought it to you. However, the divine relationship in this is you're supposed to pass it on to your woman. How are you going to do that if you don't know nothing? You can't rap to her because she can rap just as much as you. You can't show her or give her anything that's divine if you don't have it. Are you listening? It's only natural that she try you with jobs, security, that she's producing for herself better than you can produce for her. That's a natural relationship, but it's not divine. How many of you are familiar with Master Prophet Muhammad? All of you familiar with the messenger? Or are you? Some of you are not. Either one of you all don't know, somebody here don't know anything of the messenger, Elijah Muhammad? All right. Well, I'm speaking this way because I want to get to your thinking instead of making you feel good. Master Prophet Muhammad was produced from an idea to get the physical things started for us as a people to come back to rule this planet. As long as you're not being God, black man, everything is suffering. Not just you, everything is suffering. However, who's going to bring you back to this if it didn't Allah himself? Since God deals with God, angels deal with people and other angels. Messengers deals with messengers and the people that he's bringing or sending the message to. But the reason why we're still in the same shape that we were before Master Prophet Muhammad came, because God has to deal with God. This man that just got up and left is God. And no messenger or minister is going to make that man submit. It takes God himself to do that. But the biggest problem is that God has himself is, how is he to relate this to you? And you accept it. It's a problem. Master Prophet Muhammad, knowing that there are two gods, one of right and one of wrong. The one of wrong is ruling. So we prepared him to come where neither one would throw him out, at least until he completed his mission, to raise one of you as a messenger to the rest of you. You listening? He did that. However, the divine relationship in that was, there was no woman involved. He went straight to a man and got him, stayed with him 3.5 years and taught him, not her, taught him divine. And then gave him the power to go and deliver the message to the world, which also had the women in it, your brothers or your mothers and sisters in this world. So the messenger delivered the message, a divine relationship. The message was to prepare your thinking to meet God so this could be done. If it wasn't for that, you can't prove anything other than that. The messenger's been absent now almost 30 years. Look at the black man. And if he were all what you all keep saying that he was, and someone to put more on him than what he actually was other than messenger, then what would God have to do when he comes? There's got to be a divine relationship. So, Royall, what would be the relationship with you and us? Thinking. The messenger told us who white folks is, told you who you are, told us what religion does, what it doesn't do, but he never taught you how to think. He never taught you how to be God. He told you that you are God. He even told us how the other God was made by your permission. But he never taught you how to be God. And according to the message, the very first thing that has to happen if we're going to be successful in this, is your thinking has to change. However, it has to change from being invited or attracted to something greater than what you have. And if it attracts you, then you will make the necessary move towards it. However, how would you know this new thinking if it wasn't presented? Are you looking for the messenger to come back and present it? You looking for Master Prophet Muhammad to come back and present it? I just seen it on TV today, I think it was. They're showing the oldest man to live here in North America, 113 years old or something of that sort. It was on TV, I saw it this morning. What do you think about, in this day and time, Master Prophet Muhammad would be 130 or something like that? And he's supposed to come back and start something all over? Or do some of y'all think he's coming back and just destroy everything and take you up on a cloud and just move you out of the way of it? That would be a conflict in the message. Change your thinking. Are you all with me? I'm saying this to you because you really need to know. I've been here 4 or 5 times here in Jersey. And usually this is about the biggest gathering of brothers that's ever showed up. All because you think that this is not worthy of your attention. Or it just cannot be. If God is a man, it ain't him. He ain't black. And the ones that the message was sent to, and those of you that accepted a part of the message, swear up and down that Master Prophet Muhammad is Allah. There are so many things that you have not been thinking of concerning that statement. You say, well, the messenger said it. How do you know he said that? Well, it's in his writing. Did he write it? And most time when it's said, is it in parentheses? Like he said it, or did somebody put it in there? And why would he say Allah who came in the person of, instead of saying Allah, Master Muhammad? A divine relationship. You got to think. You got to think. Now, 1930 up until now, that's over 70 some years, isn't it? Something like 75 years or whatever. If there was anyone at that time at the age to have any power, say 20 years old, are they still around to be saved? If you were with the messenger, and they say, according to scripture, if you were with the messenger, the youngest person at this particular time that would have any effect from the message would have to be 33 to 35 years old. And if the messenger's been gone 30 years, you mean to tell me somebody 3 years old understood? So this coming back thing to do anything for you don't add up. The man that is supposed to come has came. He's arrived. What he's supposed to do is to cause you to start thinking and make it possible for you to build your own heaven. Is that right? Is that the way scripture reads? All right. You know, I was looking at myself as I walked past the mirror to get ready to come in here. And I thought, I said, well, you know, if I was 20 or 25 years old, I wouldn't have enough experience, even if I had the knowledge, to actually save anyone or make it possible for you to be saved. And most of the time, if I was that young, you wouldn't believe it no how. So by me being just a little seasoned, it carries a little bit more weight. I'm saying this for you to think. Now think. There is nothing that is in motion today that's for anyone if they want to be righteous other than this. Nothing. Those of you that's with someone else, if you're with Wallace or whoever, the minister, Silas, if you're with the Eastern persuasion of Islam, if you don't think, you can forget it. The die is already set. Allah is one. One. Not many. Every black man is Allah. No, every black man is a fraction of Allah. He's not Allah. He's a fraction. He's like a thought in an idea. He's not the idea, however, he's the thought. A thought in the idea. Are you all thinking? Well, if you're going to have children, and if you want to have mastery over your wife, you're going to have to accept this. Why? Because whatever you're learning in the street, she is too. And whatever you're learning, you already know it's wrong. She does too. So when there becomes a situation where you have to be the authority in that situation, she's not going to let you, or she has to permit you, because you can't do it from here. How do I know? How do you know? Because you live in it. And you see your women, wherever you see them, they're not representative of a righteous man. However, the divine relationship comes on you. It falls on you. If she's that way, it shows every other civilized man on the planet that you're not civilized. You know, a lot of brothers go out and work and they do the best they can do with the peer pressure and everything that's against them as far as paying your rent, your car note, your car insurance, and all that other stuff they put on you. And you feel like you don't have time to learn anything. So you go and pray and hope Allah, saves you or have favor on you, and it seems like it just don't work. I don't care how hard you pray, how hard you hope and you wish, it just don't work. You feel love for your brother, but when you go to show it to him, he don't show it back. This is the time. If you haven't reached complete frustration, dissatisfaction, wait a day or two. And when you have reached it, I'm already here. Having a place for you to get away from that. You listening? So unless you have the right relationship with the idea of perfection, with the idea of righteousness, you're not going to make it. And you're never going to be a man of nothing you do. You always answer to another man. Always. Always. And if it's not a man, you're going to answer to another idea that's not in your favor. I hope I'm making sense to you. I'm going to answer a few questions in a couple of minutes so that you can let me know what you want me to know, what you want to know from me. However, until this particular time, if your woman don't know anything other than the white man as far as being God or having power, and you come against her in any kind of way, and you might be right, and she calls him, she don't call your brother, she don't call your father, your uncle, she calls the white man, 911. Now, if your brother happens to work for the police force, he's just a white man in black skin. He's going to do the same thing or might do a little worse. But she don't call him. However, that's a natural relationship. That's a natural response. Hope you understand where I'm coming from. That's natural. She wants to get you off of her. Or she wants to keep you in your place, so to say, so she can still do what she want to do. That's not a divine relationship. So what I'm saying to you, if you want to change, instead of looking for God or looking to see who Allah is, and you know every black man is Allah, that ain't going to work, and you know it hasn't worked for you yet, and it ain't going to never work. You're going to have to come to grips that you're going to have to do what is right for the right reason to gain your mastery back. Period. You all read, how many of y'all read some parts of the Bible? Little scripture. Do you notice when Allah told Moses to take Joshua before the congregation, before Moses, and even tell Moses to put some of his favor on Joshua? Because Joshua is the son of Nun. He already has the spirit of Allah in him. Y'all remember that? You ever forget what the Nun means? He's the son of Nun. The Nun is no woman. You can't attach no woman to Joshua. He's a product of two men. Two men. Do you remember when the messenger said, well, listen, Allah in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad told me I'll climb a 40-mile mountain and eat rattlesnakes just for one. Just for one. And before the messenger passed, he said, I produced that one. Powerful son of truth. He wasn't talking about Master Prophet Muhammad. He said, I have produced him. I'm the one that Allah produced, and I have produced this one. So he couldn't be talking about Master Prophet Muhammad, and he couldn't be talking about Minister Louis Farrakhan, nor Wallace. Couldn't be. Couldn't be talking about Silas. Matter of fact, he said, this one is yet to be known, and you're going to have to give ear to him. The new book. So So in order for that to take place, this is one that came after the messenger, after the 40 miles or 40 years. We can't say it's the minister, because he was well known. During the time of Elijah, he was well known. Silas was known. Wallace most certainly was known. Malcolm was known and left. So the one that comes after Elijah is who? That Elijah produced. Is who? And would it be just to show the power of the one that he said he was producing? This one would give you the knowledge that the ones from the east were not able to give you. Are you all thinking? Well, in order to have any type of profound impression on any of you all, thinking is a must. And your thoughts must be mathematical. And I don't mean mathematical in the sense of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 of that sort. You have to think by fractions. You must gain enough fractions where it will absolutely add up or present what you're looking for. I'm just about bringing this to an end as far as going and speaking to people like this. I will go and speak to those that are already with me. I want to now start focusing on the spot where we are to develop that. For those that are with me, when it's time for you to leave, you got a place to come to. You won't have to worry about where you're going to stay at, what you're going to eat, who you're going to talk to, what you're going to do, because there's more work than there are of you to work. And you're not coming just to work like a job like in this world. No, sir. You're coming to make your own home. You're coming to make your own laws. You're coming to make everybody on the planet respect you as these are the children of God. These are the righteous ones. Outside of being with me, that's impossible. It can't be done. Would you agree? All right. I hope I showed just a little of this divine relationship. And I understand what's been reported to me. The brothers are out passing out flyers. They put forth the effort to go to newspapers and radios and TVs. All this is energy that's expelled from the brothers to make sure that you get the message or the opportunity to check for yourself. And we have some brothers that's out. If they put up the posters, they go along and take them down. If they hand a brother a poster or a sister poster, they come along and take it out of their hand. But they're supposed to be for black people. Are you all that afraid of me? Just a poster? You don't want nobody to have it? A flyer? You gonna take it out of their hand? Am I that feared? If you say, well, I'm of the Eastern persuasion. You got 2 or 3 things that you can consider. I'll just come out with one and think mathematically concerning this. According to what's written, Allah was supposed to allow Islam as we know it in the East be given to them as a religion. And according to what he said, this day I have completed my favor to you. Favor. When you have your own children, you don't do what is natural, what you're supposed to do for them as a favor. And since religion is not what's going to get you close to God, why would he let them use it as a religion? You got to think. You got to think. So today, black man, this was not brought to the East, it's brought to you. And the message states very clearly from Elijah, after me. Because people's always asking, well, who's going to take your spot when you die, Elijah? So the messenger answered, after me comes God himself. He did not say, after me, God, Master Prophet Muhammad, will return. He didn't say that. After me comes God himself. I might not live so long as that. However, if I don't, this is the end. And if it pleases Allah, when he does come, I may be with him. There's so much in that statement. However, all you got to do is think. Think, something that you don't usually do. And I'm not just talking to you all that's here. Because people show so much fear of being in my presence or whatever it is. They always buy the tapes. I don't know if they're buying them in their home and listen to them or buying them. Some of them buy them by bulk, $300-400. Some wonder, are they selling them or what they doing with it? Maybe they're trying to buy them all up and burn them up so nobody hear it. So it's always a whole lot more people ordering the tapes that I ever see. So I'm not just talking to you all. But thinking is something you all don't do. That's for yourself. It's always for someone else. That's why you're always looking for a job. And if you will admit that cleanliness is next to godliness, order is next to godliness, is that what we see? Even when you put your clothes on, no order. But you ride in a BMW, they're showing all kind of order. You get on the stage and you do all kind of things with the guitars and musical instruments, and all of them shows order. But the person that's using it, no order. Nothing. So where is the God in that? If this is what is required to show godhood or favor from God or attention from God, where is it? I'm looking at a TV program where they're singing gospel songs, and the person singing it, he's in a t-shirt. Half of it's in his pants, the other half is out in a t-shirt. Big baggy pants hanging way down, crotch way down past his knees. And he's talking, jumping up and down with Jesus. You ain't thinking. You're not thinking. And all of your thinking to get money, where is it? And those of you that do get it, what do you do with it? Because you don't have no divine relationship. And I'm telling you now, black man, you all that's sitting here and you all that's listening, you're not going to get your woman back until you start this divine thinking and go into practice. You're not going to get her back. Period. Matter of fact, no disrespect to you all, sisters. It's already printed. The messenger already stated it. At least 75% of y'all are not going to make it. That's the women, sisters, the females, not going to make it. And their desire is to take you with them. My will is to make sure you be God. But that's up to you. You can stay with what is and going out, or come with us and making the new. And remember, he makes all things new. All things. And all of the formal things, all of it, I don't care what religion it is, passes away. All except the United Nation of Islam, because it's not a religion. It's an expression of your nature. They superimpose nation over nature. Anybody got any questions for me? Any questions? Or are you still thinking of what I said? Yes, sir. Do we have the mic? I'm going to answer a few of your questions. If you want to ask clarity on what you just heard, I'll be more than glad to satisfy your questions. I ask for you to be respectful. I'm not here. Are you listening? I'm not here to prove nothing. I'm here to offer you an opportunity to think and then go to work or go in the motion behind your thinking. Yes, sir. The brother had a question. Just hand him the mic. Walaikum salam.
I'd like to ask you one question, brother.
Yes, sir.
You said Master Prophet Muhammad was Allah. Is that right, wrong?
No, sir.
You didn't say that?
No, sir.
Okay. Master Prophet Muhammad was the one that Elijah spoke about that was supposed to come after he leaves or something like that. Elijah Muhammad's God was Master Prophet Muhammad. Is that right?
No, you can say that.
I mean, Elijah Muhammad represented Master Prophet Muhammad. This was his God.
No, sir. And like I say, you have to think. Elijah said, I am the messenger of Allah. Period. He didn't say I'm the messenger of Master Prophet Muhammad. He said, I'm the messenger of Allah to you all. Period.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to say, well, was Master Prophet Muhammad a God? Yes, there are many gods. So if you want to say, well, was Master Prophet Muhammad a God to the messenger? That's why I say, well, you can say that. However, the real person that the messenger gave the message from and to you, but it came from Allah. In the person of, this is what it means when it says that the person that you were actually getting the message from or orders from is the who. And the who is Master Allah. Allah who came in the person of. So you got two things there. You got Allah, but he's in the person of another person. So we recognize the person. Well, who is the person? Farad Muhammad. But I'm the messenger of Allah. Period. And what we seem to forget, when the messenger was delivering the message, most of the things that were written was not by him. There are some staff writers that wrote quite a few things, and his son had quite a bit to do with it. Herbert Muhammad had quite a bit to do with what was written. And to bear witness, he wasn't with his father, he still ain't with it. So if he's not going to be with his father and teach you right or treat you right, you think he's going to put everything in the book that's right? But then again, you have to really think, because at the time, the mentality of the person that was receiving the message, the language was geared to fit that person so he could start to think. Start thinking. You couldn't be no real thinker because you were a follower. But at least following, you with someone, after a while, maybe you might kick in and start, or you would be made ready to think when the author of thought shows up. That's why the messenger said, I'm coming making a way, or I've been raised up to make a way for Allah. Making a way for Allah. So if Allah had already came in his real royal robe, he wouldn't be coming making a way. He was already here. But he wasn't in his own robe. He was in somebody else's. So when he come in his own, it'll be by the time you all have the message, and now things can make sense to you. You start saying, oh, okay, now I see. Now I see. Why would he use that kind of language? Why would he make it somewhat elusive where you can argue about it? Well, if you're a real English student, you couldn't even argue about that because they know what it means. But the hope of the black man to have somebody else they could follow, somebody that they could look up to, somebody that could fight for them. They overlook the small things. Yes, sir, the messenger said, Master Prophet Muhammad is Allah. He ain't say that. He didn't say that. He said, Allah who came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad. Now, it's Royall. Allah in person. Not in the person of. And I'm after the messenger, if that makes sense. But you have to think.
All right, question. How did it take so long for you to make yourself president?
Well, quite a few things had to take place. Mainly, the weeding out of the ones that came and said that they were with the messenger. And at the same time, this man that has been ruling over us had to be brought to a certain situation or level of existence. So when I begin doing what I'm doing, setting up a place for you, he'd be rather busy. We must remember, you're actually, whether you know it or not or believe it or not, actually experiencing what Allah does at this level. So you say, well, why did I just not come? I've been here personally for you more than about 13, 14 years. The first 7 or 8 years, I didn't do anything, mainly just go around and speak, because I was waiting for the minister. All of you all, he had all of y'all's ears. So if I did what I really wanted to do, everybody be mad with me. Who he think he is? They do that anyhow. But now they're seeing that he ain't the man. So to you it looks like, well, man, it's been a long time. Why you wait so long? Well, look what I've been doing. While you were waiting, I wasn't waiting. It's yours that's been waiting. I've been here. I got a nation set up. Everything, just about everything you can think of, we got it going. We got transportation, communication, education, all these things going in operation. All you got to do is just magnify it. But no, you'd rather look someplace else. Oh, this man is crazy. Well, what is insane about making a civilized opportunity for the person that needs it most? And it's set up where you are invited. I don't make you come. You come and check it out. Like the messenger taught, the very first thing a Muslim or a brother is supposed to do is check. If you check it, if you like it, you say, hey, I'm going to be a part of this. This belongs to me. And you start participating. If you change your mind and say, look, I don't want no parts of that, I can't make you stay. But I guarantee you, if you stay over 2 or 3 weeks with me in the United Nations of Islam, you go back out there, you're going to say, wait a minute, ho. Because as soon as you come with me, the first thing that happens to you, your eyes open up. You start to see what really is. You say, oh. All those O's start coming in. Oh. And you don't just see white folk, you start seeing everything. Everything. You start seeing your mother, your wife, your child. You start seeing you. Nothing is hidden. Nothing. Nothing is hidden. However, I don't hold whatever you do that's wrong against you when you come. And I don't hold it against you when you don't come. But you're paying for it because you haven't come. You be in jail, be in the hospital, always sad, always trying to fight something. You're paying. When you come with me, you don't have to worry about that. You don't pay no house note, but you live. You don't pay no car note, but you drive. You don't pay no school tuition, but you're taught. You don't pay no food bill, but you eat. You see what I'm saying? So, if you say, well, here's another nigger that's trying to get fat off of us, our money out of our pockets. That can't be true. Look at this. Might be a couple of millionaires out there. Maybe you put in $1 million in the pot or something like that. But normally, I don't get enough money from y'all to pay for the fuel. Especially since it's going up. So I can't be doing this because I'm looking for money. I can't be doing it because I want you all to see how handsome I am. It's got to be for the reason of right, and that's it. That's it. There is nobody else. Lewis ain't doing it. Wallace ain't doing it. You can't think of nobody that's doing anything for you all as a people, as I am, or the United Nations of Islam. It don't exist. If I were not the person that I'm supposed to be, according to your thinking, it would be impossible for me to do it. Too many people have tried and they didn't even get off first base. You know how much it costs just to open up a laundromat? Especially if you want to change it around the way you want it to be. You know what it costs? You know how many laws you got to go through? You know what it costs if you want to open up a supermarket? And the people don't want to sell you their food because you're too picky? You know what it costs? Do you know what kind of effort it takes to make sure everything that's in the supermarket, the one that's coming in, never have to read the label? Because everything in it is good for you. Do you know what kind of energy that is? And because it's that way, the community don't want to participate in it because they can't find no wrong. So every time they step in, the place is so clean, it looks so good, they feel guilty. They might send somebody, but they don't come. So if you say, well, he just wants to be known, he wants to say he's Allah because he wants people to worship him. Change your thinking. Change your thinking. That's what has happened to us now. You all have worshiped people, and look where it got you. Nowhere. Because they never change your thinking. Hope I answered that question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
My name is Brother Elijah Muhammad. I'm from Mosque number 85. I seen you in New York a while back.
Yes, sir.
My question is, you said about Wallace, Minister Farrakhan, and from my understanding was like they were supposed to be like the two sons that come back to bring the whole Islam to a universal front. It's like, my thing is like, I'm kind of confused now because if we all supposed to come together as one and we still divided,
What's up with that?
it don't add up. It don't add up.
Yes, sir. Well, this is where it comes, where you really have to think. And the thinking cannot be personal. Most of all of the brothers that do any kind of thinking, they're very personal. They think from being a person. Like in this world, testator after the teacher, which was Wallace. So Wallace tested the ones, if you want to look at it that way, Wallace tested the ones that said, yes, I'm with you, and Assalamu alaikum and all that kind of stuff. So he got, I think the message says he'll get 7 out of 10. And he did. Then the other son, as you say, now all this is before I actually show up. Minister Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan comes and he does the reminding after the test. So those that went through the test and passed it, now they still got something forward to look to. Because he's come and said, look, you got quite a few that didn't pass, but there's 3% that did. And don't forget, the messenger didn't lie. So what he told was like the reminding and gave the ones that did pass the strength to hold on until Allah actually showed up. So those two sons, if it's going to be, referred to as that, they were not in scripture in such a way as that they were to do what God did. This thing is so intense and so complicated. No sons, no messenger, prophet, apostle, minister can solve this. They can only point you to the one that is solving it. They themselves can't solve it because they got to be saved too. And if all you have to do is think, look at the people with Wallace. Look at their places. Just look. You don't see God there. And if you look at it's not Minister Farrakhan now. That's another thing too. There's so many things you don't know. You got Minister Lewis and Farrakhan. It's just that way. And Farrakhan. Not Louis Farrakhan. You got two different personalities there. Almost two different entities. One is Louis, one is Farrakhan. Farrakhan reminded us, now Louis has got everything. And you can see it. It's easy to see if you look at it. However, what makes it difficult if you don't see me? Then you can't make sense out of nothing. You say, well, look, the messenger said when he leave, go where he say go and stay where he say stay from. Yeah, he said that. But the messenger also said, after me comes God himself. So he didn't point him out as being God. Right? So you got this thing, can't get around it. Gotta think.
I have another question too. I heard a tape in 1974. at the time of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And my question is, when Wallace was getting ready to come back into the nation, his brother, Herbert, Elijah Jr., Akbar, his sisters as well, said that he has it. He has this newfound teaching. My question to you is that, do you have any animosity towards the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's children?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I don't have animosity towards nothing. I don't hate nothing. I'm not angry with nothing yet. You know, when you have all power, all knowledge, all sight, that don't produce it. That will not allow you to have animosity. It won't allow you to have hate. It won't allow you to have anything that is against anything that's positive. Naturally, I will become angry, but not with you all in a sense, because whatever happened to you is up to you. You know, my duty is to make sure if you want to be saved, there's a place to be saved. And if you don't want to be saved, hey, this place is going to burn. If you live long enough, you're going to cook. Simple as that. You know, like if you don't know how to swim, you're on a boat and you're in the ocean. You know, I don't care how much Allah love you, if you jump over the side of somebody push you over, you can't swim, somebody, you're going to drown. That's just nature. Ain't got nothing to do whether they like you or not. So it's just the same thing with this. You need to be saved. A system has to be set up as the saving point, not the person. If I was to go away now, I have taught in such a way where there are those that can work the math that will still make this work. So it ain't personal. It ain't, well, you know, we love Royall. I worship him. Anybody say that? Say, no, you ain't thinking right. If you worship me, what about what makes me me? If you worship that, you don't need me. You might need me to get started like a child needs a parent, but after a while, the child constantly grows away from the parent. Then they become parents. Same thing with God. That's where we got started off. That's the same way now. I don't want no followers. People keep saying, well, your followers. I don't have followers. If I did, where am I lead them? If I'm everywhere, meaning that the idea is everywhere. Satan uses it because he didn't come up with it on his own. And to prove he didn't come up with it on his own before Allah created himself, it was nothing to buy with it. Anything existed. So until Allah brought in the is, Satan couldn't even prove that he was existing. So you see what I'm saying? So this is it. In other words, I don't participate in those kind of things. It's not even in my fiber. You forget it. I know what things are. I know what Wallace. We the one that brought Wallace through the messenger's family. So I don't just know him after he was born. I know all this before they were born. Before you were born, before you were a thought, I knew this. Now I'm at the point now where I'm here in a flesh, blood, bone body that I specially prepared to make sure that I make for you an opportunity to be saved and an example as to how you're supposed to be after you're saved, meaning making you new. You got to remember, you are already in Africa. Black people are still over there. Thousands and millions of black people in Africa. Your parents used to be there. However, it's written that this is to be new. So we took you from Africa, brought you over here, put you under this, take everything out from you, let you have nothing. You couldn't even remember your names. This is all preparation to make you new. And the only person that can make you new has got to be the new God himself. And that's why the book talks about the Lord of Lords, King of Kings. And the messenger said, Allah's Allah. You're looking at it. Specially prepared for this. Specially prepared. I can't fail. I know a lot of brothers, a lot of people, like to shut me up. Said I'm a hypocrite. They want to imply all these different things, but when you go to try to prove it, can't never prove it. And see, like that makes some people mad. I mean, they get raving mad. You know why they do? because they can't associate themselves with me or make me associate myself with them as being part of wrong. If that answers the question. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The key is now still think. You got to think. Each one of you all were given by nature 7.5 ounces of brain power. And you haven't been using it. You have not been using it. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm just trying to understand some things. Here in Newark, city of about 400,000 plus, I read on the website what you have accomplished in Kansas. And I guess I'm concerned about whether or not that's only to be done in Kansas, or can it be also done here in the communities where we just see no progress, we see nothing but blight, we see homelessness, we see bigotry, we see poverty, we see endless ignorance, we see just filth wherever you look. You know, the institutions here, you have 5 different schools. You have Essex County College, you have Rutgers University, NJIT, and others, and they're not solving the problems in the communities for our people. My question is then, is there some way for the people in this community to be uplifted once and for all?
Yes, sir. This, what's taking place in Kansas, is to be duplicated across the country. However, not to the proportion as we're doing it in Kansas. And the reason why is because I'm actually whipping America around its borders. And I'm constantly bringing it in more and more, while I'm still offering you the opportunity to look. So yes, sir, we're going to be doing things here. However, it has to be a certain amount of you all to get started. The reason why I'm here today speaking with you is because a brother is here. He invited me. So I answered his invite because he's with us. So I come to speak with you. And this should increase. However, think about this now. Are you all thinking? Think about this. We have a university that teaches how to think. We don't teach what to think on. We teach how to think. You pick out what you want to think on, what you want to be a god of, and we'll show you how to do that. That's what I'm thinking. However, because it is us, ain't no tuition. So where's the money coming from to pay the heat bill, the oil bill, the electric, the taxes? Where's it coming from? We raise our flag up at the university. We got more slack from our people. White folks ain't say nothing. Our people went crazy. I dare them. But it's for them. They're not giving a dime. But every month when the bill comes in, it's paid. They come from brothers that's here, like here, that's not in Kansas, that's working. He may be selling bean pods or doing something like that. So the bill is paid. We have a warehouse. We don't rent space out to other people other than our own self. But the average black man won't come and rent 1 inch. So we have to fill it up with our things. You see? So doing all this, getting it started, making it possible for you to get here in Jersey, it would have to be a more participation. And the more you participate, we don't take all, if something really gets started here, which I'm sure it's got to get started. Because we didn't have the Son of Thunder here for nothing. So we got to get started here. So it's going to have to come from participation. If you just want a little small diner, that's all you're going to get. But it's going to be something. If you really want to do it, I back you. I back you. I won't let white folks do nothing to you. I won't let your own people do anything to you. I'm telling you. All you got to do is try me. And I know I can do it because I do it every day. I do it every day. You know, we have places, different spots all over the country. Eateries, bakeries, small little schools. It's always to the proportion of the people that is participating. The need for this is tremendous everywhere. But since this isn't something that I'm going to make you do, I'm just making it possible for you to do it. So if we're doing it and all the people around don't want no part of it, I say, what can I do? So when I send the storm, to hell with you. You know, don't call on me. I told you, the storm is coming. The fire is coming. The army is coming. I told you. And you want to ignore me, then when it does come, oh Allah, save me and my family. Too late. Too late. So that's, yes sir, we most certainly, I'm willing to have here what we have in Kansas. Everybody around the country is going to have an invitation. And the invitation is what they see. Since you all won't come from knowledge, you have to believe what you see. So if there's something to be seen, then you say, oh, let me check this out. So yes sir, we have something here. How large it becomes depends upon the community. But when you think you know, ain't nothing gonna happen. When you want to know and even understand what you think you know, progress can be made. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
The question I have to ask you, it may even seem kind of foolish because you've been speaking on it basically all afternoon, whatever. Are you claiming to be Allah himself? That is my question.
Well, that could be a quick yes or no. However, the language has got to be right. If I was to say, yes, I claim to be Allah. You know, when you claim something, it means it already exists. And you go and claim it. You know, like white folks claimed America. They discovered it. So, no, sir, I don't claim to be Allah. I am. In other words, nothing that I say is saying that I claim to be that. And I'm not trying to be that. I'm not trying to make you believe that. Just is.
I appreciate your answer.
Yes, sir.
Second question is in reference to the Nation of Islam. Now, deleting their racial ideas, deleting that. Would you say that your message is the same in reference to unifying the people, or as far as a black man and woman?
Yes, sir. If you're going to delete that other part.
Yes.
Yes, sir. However, here's where the difficulty comes in. They don't have the knowledge to make it work. They can't put it into motion to make it a reality. To have an idea and don't have the power to bring it in is like having truth at a time. It's like no truth at all. So to have that idea, to have the message, to have the will, but don't have the necessary things to bring it in. You know, it's like knowing your wife is cheating on you, but you can't beat the man up that she's cheating with you. So you just have to take it. You got to be able to do something about it. So with this, you know, the Nation of Islam, what the messenger got started, whatnot, and the messenger was a leader in the sense you said, you know, our leader, teacher, and guide. You know, he taught them the message and he led us, and we were called followers. Today, that can't be. You can't be no follower, because following it means you don't know. You believe it. Even if you start up as a follower, once you start to know, you might still be in the ranks, but you ain't no follower no more. You know. Knowing is different than following. And we're living in the time of know. Forget belief. That's why all of the other religions, all of it is based on belief. I believe. Eastern Islam, believers. They believe. They strongly believe, but it's still belief. Now you got to know. Especially here in North America. If I'm here, if I'm the all-knower, I'd be crazy to want to follow her. I'd be absolutely crazy to want to follow her. If I know, my dad knows, hey, I know when I came up with him, I see him cut the heads, drive the car, watch it. He very seldom said anything. Got me with him everywhere he goes. I studied watching him. And then when I got to the point, I asked him, can I drive? He said, you think you know how to drive? I said, I think so. He said, all right, come on, boy. I got underneath the wheel. I started driving. I made a couple errors, but it was very slight. And he said, yeah, you got it. I didn't have to say, well, I believe. I said, now I know. Now, can I borrow the car? Not yet, son. Yes, sir. Oh, the key is still think. It's not, Minister Farrakhan is not going to save you. Wallace ain't going to save you. No man is going to save you. You don't forget that. It's how you relate to that which really is. Like they say, Allah is the only is. How you relate to that is what will save you. If you don't, you're going to forget it. Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, Hakeem.
Walaikum salam.
It's to my understanding, okay, I may need to ask a series of very short questions.
Okay.
You asked us to think, and that's exactly what I did. You say you are Allah, correct?
Yes.
Allah is the creator of the heavens and the earth and all that is in between, correct?
Yes, sir.
Allah is also the author of the books, correct? When we say the Bible, the Old Testament, the Bible, and Al-Quran?
No, sir. Maybe the Quran, not the rest of it.
Well, there is a connection between the Old Testament, the Injil, which is the Gospel,
right,
and Al-Quran.
Right.
And if you are the author of the Quran, as you stated,
I said maybe.
excuse me?
Maybe.
Okay, being the author of the Quran, okay, it states in there clearly in the book that it is the final of the books.
That's right.
On this day I have completed my favor upon you.
Yes, sir.
In the text also, Allah addresses all you who believe.
Yes, sir.
So then those who believe, okay, are the ones in which he places favor on.
Yes, sir.
Then how are we now not addressing the believers?
Well, I'm not addressing believers in the way that they are continued to believe. And the reason why I said maybe, you all listening?
Yes, sir.
The reason why I said maybe is because how the Quran reads, how it first opens up. I, Allah, am the best knower. Today, to make all things new, can I be the best knower? He has to be the all-knower. This is why I am not the Allah that originated this universe. However, I have the knowledge that supersedes the knowledge that he used to do it. So I'm really working for the original Allah, which makes me the new one. So that's why I said maybe. In other words, whatever that's in the Quran that is true, I can contribute myself to it also because it's true. It is. However, when it comes to religion, I'm not a part of that. When it comes to belief, I'm not a part of that. I have to be that which is known. The one now is, are you listening? Okay. If you want to go back and ask another question, well, you can do that. You can go back up and be like, however, are you all thinking? Because what the brother is asking is very important. You can come back in front of him if you like. You can come back in front. Is all right? What the brother is asking, listen now, listen. Because what the brother is asking is what's got most of us tied up. And in the absence of my presence and what I'm sharing with you, there is no way you could have took it other than the way you have taken it. You would have to believe because you don't see Allah. The book reads, that according to the Quran, God is, Allah is not a man. That was put there because the scriptures that were sent to the people that they were sent to, yes, they could never be Allah. Period. They could never be Allah. They never know the hour because they would use it against man. However, at the final stage of this, Allah himself would show up. Hope you all are listening. This is why I said you have to think. I don't know if the brothers are leaving because they got another engagement or whatnot. I hope so. But this is a touchy situation. You ask me about Allah. I am him. I'm telling you. I'm not the original Allah. I'm the new one. And this is what makes it possible for me to make all things new and do away with all the old things. Even in the book reads to do away with death. No more death. No more crying. No more sadness. No more sorrow. No more death. It's there. However, I have to teach you in such a way not believe, not show no favor on you because you're a good believer. You can favor yourself because you're using the same thing I use. I'm just making it possible for you to use it and in the right place where your enemies don't get a chance to use it with you. Simple as that. And this is why Elijah was the last messenger, not prophet, but the last messenger that Allah would raise. And he would raise it to from a people that had not ever had a warner before. You had Abraham, Ishmael, and all these other people that were warners. But here in North America, to the black man, until Elijah was raised up, there was no warner. None. So this is the new people. But the ones that is to be made new is you. However, as long as you don't have the full or the better understanding of what was already given to another people, you're going to be confused. And you only be confused until you meet me and start thinking. What would I have to gain by doing this? Other than get you to think. You can't teach a person math and it be an occult. That's impossible. An occult is you're in a situation where there's a bunch of secrets. You can't tell this. Like the Nation of Islam under Minister Lewis. You can't go to that meeting. You can't do this. You can't read the internet. You can't even pronounce Royall's name. You can't read none of his literature. That's an occult. You can't do all that. Please. I would start asking myself, well, how come I can't? What's with that? Or when you start be with me, you go wherever you want to go. You talk to whoever you want to talk to. They can't do nothing with you. We have quite a few Arabs that speak with us and tell us, we're committing shirk and we're doing this and we're doing that, and they sit and talk. If they stay 5 minutes, they start changing their mind. Oh, well, good luck to you. But they changed that whole thing about, that aggressiveness towards this because just about that Allah part. That's why I said in the beginning, it's true, but that ain't what you need. Forget that. If I know who I am, you need to know who you are. How you going to know if a situation didn't set up? Because white folks ain't going to tell you. They just going to use you. You see what happened? I said, before I come in here, I heard white man was in here. He want to hear how much we're against white people. Or we're going to overthrow the government. I let him know from the beginning. It ain't about that. It's about our people. He don't care about you, so he got up and left. You see? And Minister Farrakhan won't even come in. Lewis. A number like y'all, he wouldn't even leave his living room to come to talk to y'all. No more than you all. Wallace might come. He used to. I doubt if he would come. So you see, you got to think. So yes, sir, I understand the Quran. I understand what it reads. However, I'm not the author of that. I'm certainly in agreement with everything that's in it. that's true. The part where it's in there that looks like it's not going to be a change, I'm not in agreement. I'm not in agreement with that because I'm here to change it. If that's understood.
The portion that is clear in the Quran that there is one Allah, there's one Creator.
Yes, sir.
There's not an old one, there's not a new one, there's not one for the early days and one for the later days. There's one Allah
It's true.
for all time. The beginning, the middle, and the end.
You want to ask me
Before
something?
that and after that.
All right, this is what you should ask me. What does that mean? You got to pay attention to every word that's written concerning that. You know, He's Allah at the end of all time. Until the end of all time. Or when time ends, He still be Allah. But the thing of it is, time will end. What's going to make it end? Allah says, or they read in the Bible, God said He will come at the end of time. You may not read that in the Quran. However, what makes time end? And if Allah is Allah to the end of time, then at the end of time, then who becomes Allah? And then I made the statement, what you said is only one Allah at a time. That is absolutely true. This is why I was stating that I am Allah's Allah. So as long as I am present, and if I'm the all-knower, then the title of Allah automatically takes the title of Lord. Automatically takes the title of Lord. He's the landlord of all this. He's the Lord of it. But since I have more knowledge, and I can do more, and I can correct the error or the mistake that came in His creation, then I become His God. But you all can't never do that, because you are of His creation. So He allowed me to take part of His creation and make it new. So when I finally do leave, I have put an impression on His creation that even He can't break. That's my duty to Him. That's my duty to Him. And it don't mean like, well, I come from another faraway universe and I came in. No, sir. The first Allah created Himself out of darkness. And because of the accident that He brought about light. I created my own self in light. You might say, well, not this flesh and blood body. But the thing that's inside it is a self-created being. The Allah that's in the Quran don't have anything to do with this. It's just that what He did and what He wanted to get done was so pure and so in such agreement with my creation. I said, well, what I'll do, I'll go and let Him know. I will correct the mistake in His universe and then go. This is what I'm doing. So this is why if I'm speaking to a person that will think, not that you can, if you will think, this is why I say the original, not old, the original, because Allah He don't require age. It's like water. You can't put age to water. It looks just as clean and pure today as it did when we first created it. That's the same as Allah. So, to make sure that water never gets filthy again, we need another idea. We need another power. So where is it going to come from? It has to come from one that is perfect. And Allah Himself, the original one, don't say He's perfect. He's the best knower. It requires thought. It really does. However, until you really think about what's being said, you're going to keep the opinion that you do have. And as time is moving away from that, if you don't move away from it, you end up being a loser. If you just check what I'm doing, not who I am, what I'm doing, you say you judge a man by his works. If you just check it, then check to see if anybody else is doing it for the reason that it is being done. It would have to grab your attention. Then study it. I have a book. I didn't particularly write it. However, everything that's in the book came from me. I proofread it to make sure they didn't slip something in. Yeah. Make sure they didn't slip something in. It's called center page. There's wisdom, and you can get it on the net, or they may have some here. There's wisdom that you will find in that book you will not find nowhere in the Quran and nowhere else. Matter of fact, it can be labeled as the new Quran or the new Bible. Am I saying other than truth? In other words, I go into some things that, I don't just go into just over a meeting. And it's true. You want to know where the sun was made, how it was made? That's in the book. Then you understand why the messenger said Allah wouldn't tell you, just gave him a little bit. Then he didn't tell what Allah told him. He didn't have to. I tell you how it came about, when it came about, and what keeps it going. I'm not Allah just because I want to save black people. That ain't what it is. I have a little bit more than a few planets in my own universe. So when I leave, I got to go to my own home. I can't stay here. But before I leave, I made a promise that I would do this. I'm doing it. Yes, sir.
Okay. This is going to be my last question because I want to make sure everybody get a chance. You say, and I just want to make clarity on the point, you're not the original Allah, okay? So therefore, you're not the Allah that turns the day into night and the night into day.
Well,
is that correct?
No, sir, I'm not that. However, that's something very simple. Allah don't turn night into day and day into night. He don't do that. He has a law that naturally obeys, and because of the rotation or revolving of the earth, because everything that's going to be with Allah has to be in motion, brothers. You just can't stand on the corner and talk knowledge. That's not motion. So the planet is traveling at 1,037 miles per hour in a third. Because of that, and the sun don't move, you have night and day. But Allah's not causing it. Purposely causing that happens. What about the moon? They don't have no night and day because it don't turn. So if we put moisture on it and gave it the ability to be hot or cold, it would start turning too. Because there's no moisture. There's nothing that's going to make it hot and cold for the heat to be seeking the cold and the cold to be seeking the heat. It's dead. So that's not something that Allah purposely did. However, I'm in accord with the law that makes that happen. Moreover, I have something for you. If you knew, you got to know this. The original Allah is not here to teach you. I will bring him back. He will come back. Only when I'm just about finished. It's like a man, hired me to paint his home, and the fumes is so toxic. He goes to Florida for a couple months. You mean to keep to his house and I paint it? Let him know, hey, I'm about finished, and he come on back. Inspect it. Okay. This is why it's in the book that Solomon would build the house of the Lord. Solomon would build it. Why are you going to do it? Because he got more knowledge than anyone before him or after him. Anyone that was ever before him, or anyone that shall ever come after him. So who is the Solomon? It can't be just an ordinary angel or messenger. He had to be God himself. So when I first started off, I didn't start off saying, well, I'm royal. I didn't start off that way. I started off with just being the prepared one. And the brothers treated me so nasty and whatnot and laughing and carrying on because I didn't have nothing to show for it other than knowledge. I was showing respect to Minister Farrakhan because I went to him first. Number one, I went to him first. He gave all kind of accolades, but he didn't do nothing else. So I still waited. I was speaking as the prepared one. Then I started speaking as Solomon. I got a little bit more respect. A little bit more. And I kept on with that, and then the brother started saying, well, look, or when you talk like you Allah. I didn't admit it for a long time, and it bugged me. I never would say yes or no, because if I said no, I'm lying. If I say yes, I say, well, look, what are they going to do then? They kept doing it till they pushed him up in the corner one day, stand on the stage just like this, brother, getting real there. You look, yes, I am. The brother automatically, he surrendered. Well, I don't have no more questions for you. I had a question for Solomon. I ain't had none for Allah. So I didn't just jump up, I'm here. Now, I have something in motion that bears witness. You can go check it out. Matter of fact, you can ask the government. Government, they know. Ain't that Bush and them don't know? They know. They know the time better than black people. All of you all that got the messengers, literature, and all that kind of stuff, they know it better than you. They studied it harder than you. They got people that they pay, put in a think tank, just to make sure that they try to stay ahead of you. When they got to me, I said, whoop, let's leave him alone. Yes, sir. May sound strange, but that's what's happening. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Royall. I wish more brothers and sisters would have came out and listened to your message here in New Jersey, but I'm quite sure
it will.
We'll get there.
Yes, sir.
Africa, my question is about Africa, our brother man in Africa,
yes,
and their condition and how it is. If you could explain to me why is their condition is related to this country, and how we as the black man and black woman is in this country, this nation, and why is their condition and their power is related to this nation.
Well, you heard of the prodigal son before, right? You heard of the prodigal son? Prodigal son. You know, the one that left home. Well, we didn't actually leave home. In other words, the principle of that applies to us. We didn't leave home. We were taken from home, meaning that taken from Africa and brought here. And because our brother in Africa never did anything to try to find us, and then after we were found, they never did anything to help us. So now, in order for them to have any respect for us, they had to be put into a situation that they cannot solve. Now they're thoroughly fed up with the Caucasian. I mean, they got it up to here with him. The people that we do talk to, they having fits concerning him. They can't get no business done without a bunch of rigmarole from them. They're asking us to come and do business with them and do business for them to the white man, because they don't want nothing to do with it. They're asking us, the United Nations of Islam, to do that. However, they still have an attachment to the land, not to knowledge that's going to make everything change. They have an attachment to land and the knowledge that they have concerning that and the ancient knowledge. That's not going to cut it. So they have to be put in a situation. When we come, they have to say thank you. It's like a brother or a son coming back home to his father that's been gone 50 years. However, when he comes back wealthy. Here and here. And he knows what to tell his father and to show his father where his father will submit. Because his father thinks he's got everything. He's got hundreds of thousands of acres of land. He got all what a man wants, but he don't have tomorrow. And don't have command of today because of what happened yesterday. So when we show up, like we go over there now, 2 or 3 of us at a time, go speak with them, they are amazed. They look and say, something is different about you all. So that's why we're going to save them and the world for it that's concerned. Remember what it reads. Every knee shall bow and every nation is going to submit to this. Every nation. I don't care who you are or where you come from. If you're on this planet, you're going to submit to this. If you got any doubts about Allah being Allah, just keep breathing. That's all. Just keep breathing. A lot of people want to know, well, how come you ain't took out white folks yet? If I did, I got black white folks. I'd take you out too. And if I took them out, who's going to run the nuclear plant if they don't cut it off? Who's going to do all the delicate things that they don't allow you in? So number one, why not deal with them in such a way before they leave, they cut it off? Are you thinking? Why not do that? I'm not in a hurry, so to say. I'm just persistent. I got a certain time to get it done, and the way I do things, I'm going to be successful because I'm being successful. If that answers the question. Yes, sir.
Salam alaikum. Thanks for your last statement or comments there. Is it a matter that our people suffer back homeland, because of they don't have the power, they don't have the guns, they don't have the money, they don't have the swords, so they're under suppression? Isn't that the case?
That would be the outward case, yes, sir. However, the refusal of knowledge, the refusal of being righteous, is mainly why they're in the condition that they are. The wealth of the world mostly comes from there. Why aren't they using it? You know, you say, well, the white man came and did so and so and so and so. It was more black before white came. You see, so this whole thing is a plan. And why didn't we stay there and change everything? Because the fathers want to keep their old thing going. This has to be new. So to make sure that they understand there is no choice in the matter. I didn't come to ask them, can I do this? Is it all right if I do this? No, I'm saying this is what has to be done. And before I show up, it's written. Read it. So you can't say I sneaked up on you. I tricked you. Read it. Then if you don't understand, before I do anything against you, I'll give you the understanding. In a mathematical way where you can't say, I understand and be lying. Math will make sure that you thoroughly understand. And you'll be saying thank you. Until that happens, they're going to experience that kind of oppression. However, we got to make the showing. Can you imagine what the world will do when we show that we have the power to make this man do something for us when nobody else could do it? That's an eye-opener there. And they're doing it every day in small proportions. Those that know us, I'm talking about white folks, even people in the government. I think what was it, the FBI, whatever it was, went down to our mill, thought that we was, part of these terrorist things. When he went down and took a tour and seen what we were doing, he said, oh my God, Washington got to know about this. This is great. More of you all should be doing this. Wasn't no black people, it's white people. The government. Then they had quite a few people came over to Kansas. Check us out. Because we purchased some things that you can make explosives and whatnot. We purchase things, but we're not doing it. They can check, see what we're doing it with. Our children is using it in the university. It was ecstatic. Keep the good work up. Black people in the neighborhood, they don't even want to come. The government comes and see it. The government is already, like I'm saying, already started. And remember, black man, right here in North America, your blood is going to run down the street as high as a horse's bridle. Your blood, not white folks. None of ours is, though. We can be very peaceful, very content. But that's why most Africans come over here now and look at us and, like we the scum of the planet. They're almost right. Because we're not doing nothing. But they always look. So that's what's happening. That's what's really happening. If that answers your question. In other words, there's a way out for them. It ain't like the door's closed and they can't eyes open, you outside, it's dark. So you don't have no choice, it's dark. But when the sun comes up and you close your eyes because you don't want to see, that's your choice. If you open them, you see everything around you if you got sight. So it's the same thing with that and everything else. Even with white folks. I'm not against white people. I'm not against them. Matter of fact, they did a splendid job. They were supposed to put their foot on you and twist it to make sure they bring the God out of you. That's why the book reads, hell prepared you for heaven. Yeah. But then there becomes an end of hell. After you prepare, then what? You see? You gotta think. You gotta think. So this is only a secret to black people. White man came and said, a journalist. He came and did a long story on us. The Christian Science Monitor came. They did a long story on us. And they said, this is the best kept secret on the planet. He said, you all should keep saying this, doing whatever you got to do until there's no need to do it anymore. White people. They didn't say, well, like they do Mr. Lewis. They make sure he can't make no progress in nothing. Them Jews got him locked down. If he wanted to get something for it, he can't. He couldn't even keep his restaurant open with millions of black people backing it. Couldn't keep it open. Because white folks said, you're not to sell him not even a grain of rice. And they end up closing the place down. But when it come to us, hey, you want this restaurant over here? Man got an apartment building. He just came and said, look, you want this? We see you all. We want you in it. The whole building. I got one person in. I want you to have the whole building. He said, well, we don't want it right now. Well, let me know when. I'll hold off and wait. I said, it might take a couple months. He said, well, if you're sure, I'll hold it. I said, no, I don't want you to do that. He held it anyhow. Then he says, well, we want $500 security on each apartment. I said, oh, no, sir. We'll give you $500 for the building as security. Then we'll pay the rent as we do it, and we're going to rent it with option to buy. He said, whatever you say, and put it in the contract. I don't need no apartment building for me. If I get it, it's for you. And I don't get it and rent it to lost family. People that don't know a damn, I don't get it and rent it to make money. Whoever's with me, we in a particular, if we get something started here, according to his size, if it takes 5 or 6 brothers that we got to import in to help the brother, we got to get a house for them. We have to get a house for them. So this particular place, the man came, we taking advantage of it. Isn't that something? Now in Kansas, we try to get everything from black people. We rent it. They don't even come around to see. We had to carry them to check. They don't come into the building to check it. They don't come buy nothing from us. They don't do nothing. Like we the aides or something. You understand what's being said? I better be Allah. Believe me, I better be. Because it's God coming up against God. This white man is ruling the whole planet. Africa, like you say, Africa is going through all this misery. Look at the Muslim world in the East. All that misery he's putting on them. Laughing at Castro because he fall down. Been had sanctions on him a long time. And I'm going to come right here in the midst of him and do this and make him say, well, look, yes, we recognize you as a nation. If you think I'm lying, check it. That's what makes it good about being truthful. You don't have to worry about, well, did I lie? True. If that answers your question.
Thanks for reminding us that we are all children of Allah and that we should act accordingly. I think I understand that you are the present Allah.
Yes, sir. I'm the present.
I had a quick glance at your book. I've been listening for some words, instruction, guidelines that would really shake us up. Do you have one at the moment?
Well, I have quite a few. I don't know if it'll shake you up because most of you all have been made impervious to threats, promises. You don't believe nothing. So I can say, well, I'm going to shoot some fire here and burn you up. You start laughing. Yeah, right. Or they asked me, like one brother asked me, if you God, name the raindrops. How can you put fear in a man like that? As though the raindrops have to have names. And how's he to know I gave it the right name? You see, a bunch of stupidity. What I'm saying now, the world is saying it. Black man, if you don't do something for yourself now, it's going to come a time you're not going to be able to do it. So I'm telling you in the best way I know how. Yes, I am. I'm the vengeance. I'm the God of justice. I'm the God of love. I'm the God of it all. I came for a particular people. I came to correct an error in this, or a mistake in their original creation. I'm doing it.
Sir.
So if you're unable to think, whatever I say, if it scares you, it's only for a moment. It's like going to school or going to church and they jump up and down and feel good, and when they walk out the door, they forget everything the preacher said. They might be, well, he taught a good sermon. What did he say? Well, I don't know. I just know it was good. That's the same thing with this. If I show you something you cannot think, you may be fearful for the moment. Just like it's written in the Quran. Oh, if you, God, send me a sign, make it rain. And they see all this fierce thunderstorms coming in, clouds coming in, darkening up. Then it starts to rain. Then they talk about this magic. So you answer what they ask, but they take it and turn around for Satan. So the thing that I'm to do with you all is not scare you, just make you see where you are and where you should be. If you want a word, I am that I am.
Sir.
Now you have to apply the fear or the love to it.
This is by no means any kind of ridicule. It's just advice.
I didn't take it like that. I didn't take it like that.
Oh,
no,
well,
sir.
it would be nice if you give us something that we could take home, because if I should leave now...
Take the tape. Take the tape. Purchase the book. You know,
well, I'm unable to obtain the book. So I'll be going home empty-handed. When I speak to anyone, they'll say,
go in the back.
You don't have anything to say. You don't have anything to show. So they laugh at me.
Go in the back there and pick up some literature. They got some things back there. They got a comic book that we make. It's got a lot of truth in it. The book, I won't say I'll give that to you, because I've done that quite a few times. The book is what? How much is the book? $45? $45. I won't say I'll give that to you, not today. I don't think we have that many. However, the ones that I did give, they usually came to a meeting like such as this in the Kansas, and they expressed that they had no money and whatnot, so I let them have the book. Some say, well, I'll pay you, as soon as I get the money. A couple of them, I guess they still ain't got it, because we didn't get paid for the book. But we're not doing it for the money. However, we still got to replace what it takes to produce it. So if he go back to the table, I'm quite sure, make sure he go home with something of value. Yes, sir.
Peace, Allah.
Yes, sir.
It's good to see you. It's a pleasure in your original form. Allah, I need you to shed some light on something for me.
Yes, sir.
It's in the 1 to 40. It deals with the 11th degree in the 1 to 40. And it says, and it goes like this. Would you sit up at home and wait for Mr. God to bring you food? Food? And the answer is emphatically no. Allah, what I want to find out from you, it says, no relief came to us until our prophet, W. Farad,
Yes, sir.
it says W. Farad, the name of our prophet, W. Farad. It doesn't go like that. It said he said he was a half original man. Now, if I understand the lessons correctly, Alfonso was the father of W.D. Farad. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, is it possible that a half original man could be the son of man? Because when I think of the son of man, I think of you and me and this brother.
Well, yes, sir. If his father was actually black, he can still be the son of man, because his father's black and he's the seed of his father. He's been tampered with or colored. So, in that aspect. However, to be in his fullness, like you say, who is the God or who's the original man? When you put the word original in it, you got to take out that other part. So he can't be that because he's not original, although his daddy is. But this man was prepared for a particular function. We prepared him and he carried it out.
Right.
So since he was half original, he wasn't to be the final in this scenario. He wasn't to be the final person. He was the beginning. That's why it's called Farad. He started it. It's really a lot, but it was in him. So we know him as getting it started only because the messenger said it. Most of y'all never seen it. Well, I can just safely say none of y'all saw him. That's right, Muhammad. Matter of fact, the messenger didn't want us to have his picture, because he didn't want us to be confused about when I did show up. Everybody be talking about, well, that's why Muhammad's God. But it's too many things, like you were pointing out. There's too many things. If you would think, you could see what the messenger was really saying. He had to present a man as God says. He said, God is a man. He couldn't say, well, God is a man, but you got to wait until Royall comes. He couldn't say that. If he was saying that, he had to produce a man. So he said, well, Master Prophet Muhammad, here's the man. So we started thinking. But then as we kept thinking, Allah who came in his person, I submit to no one but Allah. I seek refuge in Allah. He didn't say Master Prophet Muhammad. And then, what is it? The first one in the student enrollment? Who is the original man? The Asiatic black man. That automatically puts Master Prophet Muhammad in a different place. But you don't think he was following, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Allah, I need to ask you another question. Allah says, who are the poor righteous teachers on this poor for the planet Earth? Answer, they're the poor righteous teachers who do not believe in the teachings of the 10%, who are wise and know who the true living God is. The teacher of the true living God is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the creator of the planet, functions the God of the universe. I need to ask you a question. I'm doing it in part. I don't want to go through the whole degree. It says civilized persons, Muslim and Muslim sons. Allah, I need your help. Can you tell me who the Muslim sons are?
Well, technically, the Muslim sons are those white people that are Masons. Those are the Muslim sons. That's why I say it'd be approximately 3 million of them that will be with us. We're the father, not a son. Right. You know, we're the father of them. So the Muslim sons are Caucasians that have studied for 35 to 50 years, and then, they've learned a little bit of civilization from the author. So those are the real Muslim sons.
Allah, also like to ask you another question. Now, who are these civilized people? Are they people of color, Caucasian, or what?
The civilized people here today are the ones that are with me. The black man. The white man can't be civilized to the fullest meaning of the word civilized, because that's not the way we made it. He can act civilized, but he can't be civilized. You all are acting crazy, but you're the God.
Allah, may I ask you another question? Allah, what I want to find out was that these Muslims that's in that lesson, who are they referring to? The original people also?
Well, I would say it would be referring to the ones that came with the messenger at that time. Because here's another conflict. Who is the original man? The Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. And it's in everybody Muslim. So in reality, the black man is not a Muslim. You're God. And you never read no place where Allah said he was a Muslim. So this whole title Muslim was put on another people. Not for us. But all of this has to be understood. So the real Muslim, if you're going to call it a Muslim, while we are learning how to think and we are following our mother, the messenger, while we're following, we can be saying, well, we are Muslims because we are submitting ourselves to do the will of the mother or Allah. However, once you grow up and no longer a child, and you're with God himself, you can't be a Muslim. God makes gods, not Muslims. That corresponds with the very first question. If that answers the question.
Yeah, I just want to ask you another question, Allah. It's in the 1 to 40. It's the 13th degree in the 1 to 40. It says, it asks the question, who are the 85%? It says they are the poison animal eaters, slaves of mental death and power. Allah, who are those people that are dead mentally and slaves of this mental death and power? And what is this poison animal that they're eating?
Well, the poison animal, according to nature, is the swine, the hog, the pig. And the 85% are the ones that are not thinkers. They're all followers, regardless of what color they are. They stick with the rulers of this planet, do what they say do. There's 85% of the people that do that. So they don't really know. They believe that God will do this and that God will do that. They don't know. So these are the ones that style as the 85%.
Allah, I'd like to ask you another question. Let me find the degree in the 1 to 40. I think it deals with what brings rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes, not the eighth degree, but it goes into the mystery. Is it the 10% teach the 85% that mystery God brings all this? And it goes, it says, but they were not physically, they're only mentally dead. It said, but many of them have survived from this mental death. Allah, do you know what it was that gave these people that died from this mental death, mental resurrection, or who it was?
Well, it began with Elijah. It started with me. And since you're asking these questions, I think you're asking something you already know. However, since I raised the messenger up, and this might seem strange, I, the entity of me, not this body, but the Allah that came in the person of Master Prophet Muhammad, you're looking at it. I raised Elijah. We got it started, changing this mental thing from death back into life again. And so as I got it started, so shall it in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. So I'm back here in my own person. I'm not in Farad's person. I'm in my own royal robe. So I'm completing it. So now everybody should know. They will know or they will perish. And there's no reason why you won't know, because it's being made so plain. Even if you're a fool, you can't ignore this. You can't ignore it. If you were somebody else's religion, you still can't ignore this, because it makes too much mathematical sense. You can't say, well, it's true because he said it. It's true because it is true, and you can prove it. So, yes, sir. So,
may I ask another question, Allah?
Yes, sir.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we'll deal with mathematical theology. Is it mathematical theology or mathematical reality?
You already with me?
What's that?
Are you already with me?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Well, theology is one thing. You know, it don't necessarily mean that it's true or it's proven. Reality, it don't have to be true either. However, it's true to the point where it has an impression on everyone that's with it to make them do what the reality of it is. So the reality, the knowledge of mathematical, you know, like they say, Islam is math and math is Islam. It didn't say Islam is royal. It didn't say Islam is Master Prophet Muhammad is math. And math is Islam. And like you said, you have to learn it, how to use it. So the reality, if you use the math the way it is designed by nature to use it, then it will deliver you out of whatever you're in into what you want to be. Even if it's the devil. It's written in the problem book, right on the cover of it. You're put in this miserable condition in a mathematical way. So he used math to make us miserable. We got to use math to get out of it. But it's got to be somebody that is not using math. He's got to be math. You listening? I can't just use math. I got to actually be it. I can't have knowledge. I got to be knowledge. I can't have power. I got to be power. Because that's what it requires. I have more problems out of the one that is being raised up from that mental death than the white folks themselves. I'm not here to save no white people. If they want to be saved, that's up to them. I'm not here to save them. I'm here to save you. But I catch more hell from you than anybody else. I mean, some real hell. Yes, sir.
Allah, how could I come up under your wing without joining the United Nations of Islam?
Well,
how can I study with you and walk with you and learn from you?
Well, like I said, we were using modern equipment, like it reads in problem, what is it, 32 or 13 or whatever. We were using modern equipment. So we have, you know, the net is available. Plus, we have the phones that you can call. We have an 800 number. You don't even have to pay for it. You know, whatever you want to get over to, you know, some knowledge or whatnot, call it. See what comes out of that. And get the tapes. And it's another statement you made. You can't join this. You can't join yourself. You accept it. That's the best you can do. You can't join the United Nations of Islam. You can accept it, and that's it. Other people now, if white folks want to, they can join. Because it don't belong to them. The Chinese, Japanese, they can join. But you can't join this. You accept it or leave it alone. Because it's you. I'm not coming up with something that has boundaries to it. I don't have a system set up where you can get to the end of that system and then now, what's next? This is endless. You can't find the end of it. And that's the way it is with you, black man. Your capability to create is endless. So you can't join this. You just accept the process and be it. That makes sense?
Thank you, Allah. I appreciate that. All praise is due to you, Heavenly Father.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we need your help. No participation from the sisters. Okay. Oh, okay. We have one. What time is it? It's what? 4:12? We're going to get ready to get out of here. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, Father. Would you describe to us the new, describe to us the new and the relationship with yourself and the youth and how they'll help you in the new?
Well, it's written that the youth belong to Allah. Their parents belong to Elijah. But the youth belong to me. They will be, or like it says, for within them is the kingdom of heaven, means the new. So they've already been genetically programmed and designed with the new. So as they come from a place that you and I provide for them to come, to start expressing what they already have in their mind, then we're going to see the practice of things that have no flaw in them. We're going to see beauty that we've never seen before. We're going to see submission that we never witnessed before. We're going to see a clearness in the sky and in the heavens that's breathtaking. We're going to see another sun other than the one we see now. We're going to see new birth. Everything that a man can think of that he hasn't thought of yet, nor conceived in his heart, is what the youth is going to bring up. Because I've already put it there. And I'm just asking the parents, coupled with me, to provide a place for them to work out in. And those parents of them that actually do that and was with the messenger, I'm going to send them away. So they will be with their Lord for a period of time. And when they come back, they'll be able to see what their children has done with this planet. They will have changed everything. So like we see it now, it'll always look like a painting in the atmosphere. It won't be no gray days, sorry days. Are you all listening? It'll be picture perfect. And when it does rain, it'll never rain in the day. Always at night. And the youth will get to a point where they never need any rest. Sound like fantasy?
No, sir.
Well, this is what I'm working for. And let me see. Are you youth?
Am I youth?
Yes.
I hope so.
Okay. Well, if you're with me, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, this is the beginning of how people will look when they come with me. You're an example of that. You ain't got it all there yet, but you're an example, at least to start.
Yes, sir. Praise be to you, Father.
Yes, ma'am. I could go into many other things, however, I don't want to go off on what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
The youth is the new. Youth is another word for young. And God is the God of life. And what better to be a God of young life? You're full of vigor then. You're full of all the possibilities to make things happen. You don't need to go to bed and get 8 hours of sleep. Matter of fact, you get mad with your parents because you got to go to bed. Can you imagine being with this and don't have to go? Nobody tells you what to do. What you're doing tells you what to do. Isn't that something? Does that answer anything of your expectation? Or you want me to go another way?
Yes, sir, Father. That was
Somewhat?
right for now.
Yes, ma'am. Well, after these, 3 more questions? After these 3 people, unless there's a pressing question. And don't get up and run out. Go peruse the table in the back and see what we're doing. And that's just an example. And most of it is being done by what she said, the youth. We have youth at our university making fuel for our vehicles. Did you hear what I said? We don't go buy fuel from our enemy. We produce it and put it in our own vehicles. We make our own candles in case the light goes out. Make our own soap just in case you want to be clean. Make quite a bit of our food. So by chance, if you get hungry, you got something to eat. We make our own clothes to hide our nakedness, not our shame, because we don't have none. Isn't that something? Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
I've been wanting to come up here and speak to you for quite some time. I just had to gather up enough courage, so I asked Sister Joanna to come up here with me.
Yes, ma'am.
I have 2 children, and I've been in this idea for almost 2 years. And my son is with me, however my daughter is. And I hope it's not too personal, however, I really need clarity in my thoughts.
Go ahead.
I lost custody of my daughter while I was in this idea. In the beginning, she expressed to me that she's 9 years old. She'll be 10 in December. She expressed to me that she wanted to be with her grandmother, and at the time I wanted her to be with me. However, what ended up taking place is that her grandmother, like sneakily, like underhanded, went through the law and got custody of my daughter. Now she's expressing that she wants to be with me. However, legally, it was being shared with me, so as not to put stress on myself, not to go and do it like with a lawyer, that because of the fact that the dial is set and destruction is taking place and in motion, if she's meant to be with me, she'll be here. However, because of the fact that she's 9 years old, I'm like, how would she be with me? Would she get on the bus? And
In other words, you want to know what you should do?
Yes, sir.
Well, first place, your mother should have been with you, or the grandmother. In other words, what I'm saying is, these people that's always lurking on the outside to make sure that we are unsuccessful, they're worse than white folks. White folks don't do that. But the black man, just how much do we hate each other? So she'll go in behind her back to take her daughter. Your daughter was already with you. But your parents or her grandparents wasn't. Is that your mother?
No, sir. That's the father of my children. That's his mother.
Right. She wasn't with this. So they go and take your child. Well, it depends upon what type of pressure you want to go under in receiving it. If you really want her, and you don't mind going through this, what this devil do, go ahead, I'll be with you. If you want to do it the way I would do it, just set a time. Just ask, me to help you, to get her back, and wait.
Father, would you repeat that?
And wait.
Yes.
Ask me to help you get her back, or get her back for you.
Yes, sir.
And then wait. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
And I'll deliver her back to you.
Yes, sir.
However, the ones that's involved in this may not come out smelling like roses, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
Like the brother wanted a word before, whatnot. These things that we do to ourselves, whatnot, it does tax my patience, because it's always directed against the righteous. It's never directed against the wicked. If you weren't with this, she wouldn't even try to get it. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I have this over and over and over. So, I don't know how soon I might start retaliating. Do you want me to help you get her back?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, like I say, you have to wait. Might be a week, might be a month,
Yes,
might be
sir.
6 months. But when you
Yes.
get her back, you will have her.
Yes, sir.
In other words, you won't have part of her, like they say, my body's here, but my mind's on the other side of town. You will have her. It'll be complete. There won't be no turning around.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am.
I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
It's about the merger.
Yes, ma'am.
In order for a merger to be successful, I know that sometimes, I'm experienced because I'm in a merger at this time. Sometimes you can get a little sign-winded and also thrown off track because you. Well, I mean, if you're desperate, I don't want to use that word. Because if you might be in a situation where you might have been waiting to be merged for a while. So I'm wondering, what are the things that you two can do together and look for in order to make sure that this merger is successful, and making sure that you're not looking for the wrong things, worldly things that you're accustomed to looking at?
You mean after you get merged?
Before you get merged and after you get merged.
Well,
yes, sir.
The idea is always first before you get married. In other words, you have to marry each other based on the idea of what is taking place. For the universe, for us as a people.
Yes, sir.
Because that's the only thing that's going to give you real stability as for you being worthy of breathing. Anything less than this, you can't even justify you breathing. It's like what Bush say, if you ain't with me, you're against me. So if anyone that's not with this, they're against it, although they may not know it. This is what they do. So the idea first has to be on that. And then as you're preparing to get married, you have to figure out ways how to make or to fit into the idea or to make the idea real to you. Then after you get married, you actually have to start doing it. And everything, this isn't something that you do part-time. This is it, period. How you think, how you walk, what you eat, where you work, what you do, all that is included in it. How you carry on in conversation, who your friends are, who they're not, what you're willing to give towards this other than just you. All of that entails this. So in the marriage, if the husband allows you to be free and feel secure or be secure, and you all work together, there won't be no divorce. There won't be any divorce because you have the ability to call on the one that is making all this happen. You don't have to get on your knees and whatnot. Sometimes just pronounce my name with the right will to it. Father, will you give clarity? Father, will you help? And it comes just like that. If it's for real. If you say, well, I'm going to try it and see, it ain't going to work. Because you pretended. But if it's for real, it'd be the same thing as like, the car turned over your baby, you go down and pick it up. After you're doing this, you say, man, you picked that up? I did? You was for real. So the same thing happens here. So if you stick to making Islam math, in other words, instead of calling it Islam, well, I'm going to do Islam, forget that. Just make whatever you do, make it mathematical. And it don't mean your husband's going to be mathematical all the time. You got to consider everything else that you're all involved in. If you're working with somebody that don't give a damn about math and he give you all hell, you don't have to have that in your home. Then you can also think how you can make it even easier at that job. Knowing that you got to support and knowing that one day you don't have to go to work because I'm working hard to make sure you don't have to. You don't have to work, but it don't have to be for your enemy. When you come to be with me, you're still going to work, but it's not going to be the work that, it's going to be like a duty instead of a job. It's your duty to make sure everything is pleasant. It's your duty to make sure your husband loves you. It's your duty to make sure your children is brought up right. And it's your duty to respond to everyone else that's around you properly. When that happens, you can't help but to be comfortable. You can't help but to, it works. That's why they say Allah frowns upon divorce. I mean, I don't now. If you with me, I frown on it. I mean, what were y'all doing? Where did all this dissension come from? What happened to the man? Well, if you out there in the world and got a divorce, oh yeah, well, I understand. You're never together in the first place. You're married under a man that works hard to make sure he keeps everything divided. He's a fractionalized person. He's a destroyer. He don't bring things together, he destroys it. He done got so good at it now, he go take a great big building. I was looking at it one day, just did that in Las Vegas. Put the different bombs on it, whatnot, they just cave in. It may took them, a year to put it up. 10 seconds, it's gone. man's God. So when you marry unto him, that's what's happening with your wedding and your marriage. Be there for a little while. If you're with me, I don't tear things up. I repair it. That's why I'm starting with the black man. Really broke down. Sick from the crowns of your head to the soles of your feet. You're sick. But I still came after you. So I got to bring you up out of that. First I had to come down. So that's why I look the way I look. Because I had to come down there where you are. And then start the process of bringing you up. And as I change, you can change. Isn't that wonderful? That's what you got to do. At first it might be a little work, but after a while it gets to be like, man, this is fun. This is fun. You start looking for something wrong. I need to flex my muscles. Let's see if I find something wrong here. Well, honey, you left the dish out last night. You didn't wash it. Why you leave it out? Oh, baby, I left it out for you. I know you'd wash dishes better than me. Okay. But most of them in this world, you wouldn't say that. Don't be trying to sweet talk me. You better wash that dish. You see the difference?
Yes, sir.
So when you get to be that way, where it was in the beginning, you can't lose. You can't lose. Brothers, I have wives. Most of them live in the same house together. There's no fights. There are no arguments. Very few disagreements. So I know it works. You heard before, no two women can live in the same house. That's a myth. I just said it because I let you know, whatever I do, you can do it. However, you got to use the same thing I'm using. If you don't use what I'm using, you're going to get what this world put on you. Nothing but misery and heartaches. And a question like that, what could I do? Got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am.
It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Pleasure is mine.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I know this cease is hard, so I don't want to keep. I'm gonna make this real quick, but don't leave until, like I said, you see the table. Quite a few of them thin now. But make sure you don't cheat yourself. I don't know when I'll be back. I don't know when I'll even be invited back. I know I'll be back though. Yes, ma'am. Real quick.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, Father.
Walaikum salam.
Yes, sir. Father, I want to thank you. And I want to share with you something that we witnessed November the 10th, Wednesday. My daughter shared for her to look out the window, which she did. And then looking out the window, she called me. I went in there and I looked, and what we saw was a ship with, you can see like the two red lights and you can see a white light, and you see some lights in the back. And the ship was like tilted, and it wasn't way up, it was down low. So I shared with her, let's go in the living room and look out the sliding doors window, which we did, and the grandchildren all of us went and looked out the window. Not the sliding door. And it's pulling it back, and I was like, let's give it the greetings. And when I gave the greetings, when I Assalamu alaikum, and one of my granddaughters went, how it's going to talk back? And when she shared how it's going to speak back, then the red lights went out. The white light got like real big, so it was like so profound, like it actually gave you the greetings back. Wa alaikum salam. And when it did that, we like just holler, be like, praise be to Allah, praise be to Allah. And she was my daughter was getting like emotional. It left, then another ship was behind it. And the first one just, it went off, and the other one went right behind it. And I was like, man, I got to call somebody. I called Sister Captain. First of all, I wanted to call help, and I was trying to call Michael and Lisa Halve. I couldn't get the number right. Every time I dialed, I couldn't get the number right. So I went there and called Sister Captain. I called Sister Captain, and her answer machine came on. I left it on the answer machine, and I called somebody. I called the carrier out. I spoke to Sister Chrissy, and I called the compound. I spoke to Sister Asia, and then Sister Captain did call me back, and I was like, oh man, praise be to Allah. So I just wanted to share that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. And I wanted to share the last meetings, and because I shared with someone, if the meeting be where it be spoke about ships, I was going to say something. However, I didn't get up, and it was like really bothering me because I didn't get up. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, ma'am.
So my question is, why I didn't move on out? So when she asked me to get up with her, I was like, praise be to Allah, because I can get up and share too.
Yes,
yes, sir.
Why you didn't move out?
Yes, sir. Why don't, like it was in me to get up and move to do what I know I need to do. However, I didn't get up to do it.
Yes, ma'am. Come from peer pressure,
Yes, sir.
being unsure. But you did.
Yes, sir. Praise be to Allah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. I can say you should have called me, but you did. All praise due to Allah. Yes, sir. That's wonderful. That's a very, very good sign. And also it's a sign of the time. Yes, sir, soldier.
Peace, Allah.
Yes, sir.
It's really wonderful to stand here in your presence today.
Thank you.
I've been a bad boy.
You haven't killed none of the righteous, have you? He's serious.
What I've done is worse than that. I've killed the righteous spirit and I want it back. I don't really have a question, but a request. And forgive my weeping, but I just request that you give my wife back to me and help us to create a spirit of peace and harmony and joy within the household.
Yes, sir. I most certainly will do that. You were here in Jersey?
Yes, sir.
Were you with the messenger?
Yes, sir.
Where were you at?
Temple number 10 in Atlantic City.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you still there? In Atlantic
Right
City?
now, I'm just rolling with the righteous gods because I went astray and I'm just seeking to come back to the path.
Get the center page book. Get it and read it. Or if you are unable to get the book, if you got access to the internet, go on the internet. It's there. Read as much as you like. That should start to bring back the God in you and the spirit of Allah. And when you start on that, I will automatically aid you because you will have a foundation to draw from and you will know where to go back to reconfirm yourself. I will be with you. As far as was your wife with the messenger?
No.
What's her name?
Sean Tulu.
Sean Tulu? Well, we'll see. But I'll work with you. And if she sees what happened with you and she wants to be a part of you, it will happen. I will say this. If you actually are successful and you really are serious about what you're asking me, because I'm serious about what I'm sharing with you, and you take it to the point where you're successful, I'll make sure you will not be alone. You will have a mate, and it'll be the right one.
Thank you, Allah.
Yes, sir.
I love you.
Love you more. Well, I want to thank you all for coming out. Go tell someone concerning this. Don't try to force it on them because most people don't want to hear it. Because if they think they do, they got to change. If they're going to be a part of it, they have to change. But you don't want that resting on your shoulders. They don't change because you didn't tell them. So let somebody know what happened here today and that it's worthy of their attention. The secretary will be coming on up. Come on up, Mr. Secretary. She'll give you share with you the website address. Check it out. Check it out. This is Assistant National Secretary